Gets ready for a presidential election. Tonight, there's a new push to get tougher on voter fraud in the state of Missouri. New tonight, 41 Action News reporter Dia Wall found out why one local lawmaker wants to change how you vote. Dia.
Well, Rhiannon, in Missouri, there are 20 acceptable forms of identification when you head to the polls, from a utility bill all the way to a social security card. But one state senator from Lee Summit wants all voters to show a photo before casting a ballot. State Senator Will Kraus wants to require voters to show a photo ID at the polls.
And we have 6 million people in the state of Missouri. Over 5.8 million already have IDs. It just makes sense.
He's also pre-filed another bill pushing to give the state more power
to investigate voter fraud cases, write probable cause statements, and then prosecute if the local prosecutor doesn't have the resources to prosecute those voter fraud cases.
Secretary of State Jason Kander told us, "I trust prosecutors to do their jobs, and they are certainly the most qualified people in the state to convict those who break the law." The Jackson County Elections Director is not against a photo ID requirement.
Part of me says, okay, it's a really great thing because for our judges, there's not a doubt.
I think it's very important for us to make sure that we safeguard our election process.
Despite only a handful of voter fraud cases in the last 10 years.
We've had 16 people either pled guilty or found guilty of voter fraud, and I would tell you, I bet you there's more than that.
Kraus is supporting a bill that would change the rules for election watchers as well.
They aren't there for the closing of and sealing of the ballots before they're delivered to the election authority.
If passed, it would allow them to stay for that entire process.
I don't think it's necessary, but you know, it's one thing, it's kind of going to be intimidating to our judges.
In Kansas, photo ID is required to vote. They've had about 500 requests for a free ID from people who cannot afford one. That's over the last 4 years. Critics argue, though, money is not the only potential barrier. Transportation to get there to apply for an ID is another. Live in the studio, Dia Wall, 41 Action News.